Armstrong did not stop the Vietnam War, but his recipe for homemade explosives slipped across the Atlantic into the hands of the IRA. The world's first full-scale car bomb war was now ready to begin. And the material to make the bombs was lying around in every farmer's barn in Ireland. Every Easter Sunday, Irish Republicans march in Belfast to remember IRA men killed in Ireland's Troubles. The Troubles lasted for 3 decades and claimed nearly 4,000 lives. The IRA wanted to get the British out. Car bombs were the IRA's heavy weaponry, their artillery. When the Troubles broke out in 1969, the IRA grabbed whatever was at hand to fight British troops. Petrol bombs, old shotguns, and dangerous homemade explosives. Sean O'Callaghan was a senior IRA bomb maker at the time.
My understanding is that the IRA was running out of explosives and then they switched.
The IRA had great difficulty in getting hold of military or commercial explosives. You get small amounts of it. You could steal it from quarries. You could buy some on the market. The point about the ammonium nitrate was that net nitrate was probably the biggest commercial fertilizer in the Irish Republic. The government had a share in the company that manufactured it. So every farmer had hundreds of bags of net nitrate, which was really the base for all of the homemade fertilizer bombs. So it was an absolute godsend. So you emptied 4 bags into a large barrel, and then you filled the barrel with water, and then you put a big gas burner under it and you boiled it. And up to the top rose this very clear liquid. And in the morning that would have crystallized into big lumps of white crystal. And that was virtually pure ammonium nitrate. And later on that would be mixed with diesel oil. So you needed large amounts of it.
You were making
2 ton a week.
2 ton a week
of ammonium nitrate.
How many car bombs was that?
I would say the average size of the car bomb was probably about 500 pounds.
So basically nothing to stop you.
And as I knew farmhouses that had hundreds of tons of net nitrate had been lying there for years.
The British took countermeasures to make it more difficult for the IRA to make ANFO. Simply boiling up fertilizer to make explosives no longer works. But the IRA also found ways around those restrictions and ramped up their car bomb war.
This is a grave of volunteers in Belfast who died during the present struggle. This is where Michael Clark and Ann Parker are buried. They were killed with their own bomb. I knew both of them very well.
You know him?
Tommy Gorman was one of the IRA's top bomb makers in Belfast in the 1970s.
Where did the car bomb come from?
Well, I think it was a natural progression. It was so simple and so logical. If it's in a car, you can't see it. You're just parking a car like everyone else. And I think that was just the beauty of it.
Tommy's job was to assemble the bombs, set the timer, before handing over the device to the bomb team, who drove the car to its target in the city center.
To deliver the car bomb, who was the best sort of driver?
There was people who naturally got picked because they had the steady nerve. If you got someone who was nervous, they'd maybe start to panic if they got held up in traffic.
What about women?
Women as well, yeah, just as good as men. Some of them are better than men.
One of those women was Marion Price.
I was born in Belfast. My mother and father were both very active Republicans. I joined the IRA when I was 17.
17?
Yeah.
You were at school?
Yeah.
Did you find that a bit paradoxical, going to school and going
Yeah, and coming home, taking off your uniform and going.
Was there ever an occasion when you were involved in a car bomb operation?
I mean, I didn't drive at the time. I was too young. I didn't have a license. But I've been in a car that was laden with explosives that were being brought into Belfast, and we were stopped by the British Army. And at that time, we had the explosives in the door panels of the car. So the soldier went to open the door for me, and I said to him, no, it's all right, I can manage. And when I got out of the car, because I was wearing a Mini, I think he was more interested in looking at my legs than he was with the car.
So, I mean, a teenage girl is just ideal for delivering
Yeah,
a car bomb.
yeah.
Did you ever plant a car bomb?
I did, yeah. Quite a few of them, you know.
Did it kill anybody?
No. No, there was nobody killed or injured in any of the car bombs. None of the ones I was involved in, anyway.
What would you have thought if you'd killed somebody?
If there'd been a soldier or a policeman at the time, I'd probably been pretty happy.
A civilian?
And been pretty pissed off.
Most of the time, the IRA called in warnings. The IRA's aim was economic terrorism, buildings, not bodies. Under their own rules, killing civilians was wrong. But planting car bombs is not an exact science. And when the IRA messed up, lots of people died.
What was the idea behind Bloody Friday?
Every now and again, the leadership of the Republican movement would decide to have a spectacular.
On the afternoon of the 21st of July, 1972, the IRA planted 22 car bombs in the center of Belfast, all timed to go off within minutes of each other.
Did you have any role on Bloody Friday?
Yeah, I was responsible for making 4 devices. It was 3 roads and a bridge.
Bloody Friday was the world's first mass car bomb attack. The IRA phoned in warnings, but one bomb prematurely exploded in Oxford Street bus station, killing 6 passengers. Many others were horribly mutilated. Mina Wardle was just yards away.
I was actually just on the courthouse steps coming out when the bomb went off, and for some reason or other just stuck to the wall at the side of the courthouse and could not move. I seen torso lying in the middle of the road. I actually thought it was something that fell off a meat lorry. There were signs going off. There was pandemonium everywhere.
Belfast City fell into chaos. There was nowhere safe to run.
We were being directed in all sorts. They didn't seem to know what was going on, either where the bombs were, exactly what was happening.
Are you ashamed of what happened on Bloody Friday?
Utterly, very, very ashamed. It was a terrible, terrible day. There was no way that the security forces could have cleared because the spread of bombs were everywhere.
But the slaughter on Bloody Friday did not stop the IRA. The bombing campaign accelerated. In 1972, there were 1,382 explosions. The IRA leadership was now ready to bring the car bomb onto the streets of London.
We would bomb London. It was our job to go and pick the targets and plan the operation.
On March the 8th, 1973, the IRA attacked London for the first time and planted 4 car bombs. 19-year-old Marion Price was leader of the bomb team.
We went to London, we picked various targets. We reported back to the leadership in Belfast. Then the bombs were made up here in Ireland, and we took the bombs to England on the ferries. Then on the morning that the bombs went off, the driver and the person who was to set the timer, they got up at 6 in the morning, they drove the bombs to their targets, and it was planned that by the time the bombs would go off that afternoon at 3 o'clock, we would all be home in Ireland.
Marion chose 4 spectacular targets, including the Old Bailey Courthouse. But the most prestigious target was New Scotland Yard. Peter Gurney, a bomb disposal officer, was on duty that day.
What's the significance of this target?
It has a great cachet because everyone throughout the world knows of Scotland Yard. To attack it successfully would have been a great feather in the IRA's cap.
What happened on March 8th, 1973 here.
And they found a Ford car parked here. And the number plates on that car did not relate to that particular vehicle. The boot lock had been tampered with. So we decided that what we would do, we would go into the boot through the rear seat. We went in and you could see that it was packed with explosive.
Gurney was alerted in time to try to defuse the new Scotland Yard bomb. But there was no such luck outside the Old Bailey.
Well, it was 180 pounds of explosive. The problem was that, in fact, we'd found the explosive, but not the initiator. We had no idea how long there was on the clock. What we just decided to do was to take the explosive away from the bomb. And in fact, we were pulling bags, 5-pound bags of explosive out, and put them on the other side of the road, so if the bomb went off, there would be less explosive. The building hadn't been evacuated, and there were faces pressed against all the windows watching us work. After a while, we came across the detonating cord leads, and they ran to underneath the front passenger seat. Inside was the clock, a battery, and the detonator. I cut the det cord leads.
What was the significance of this bomb?
These were the first car bombs used in England.
2 bombs did explode. The Irish War was now on the streets of London.
Were you glad that 2 of the bombs went off?
Absolutely, yes, because at least that that was something. We were successful with 2 of them.
For Marion Price, it was the end of her days as a car bomber.
When the police came up to you, what did they say?
Are you flying to Dublin? That was famous
what
last
did,
words
what did you
of
say?
Detective Inspector Nigel Summers. We said yes, and then he also turned around and he says, well, would you mind coming with me?
How did you feel when you saw the police coming?
I just thought, right, that's it. We're scooped,
Marion spent the next decade in prison. But over the next 25 years, the IRA would explode thousands of car bombs. Their ANFO bombs would get bigger and bigger. Just one bomb could destroy a small town or blast the heart of a key financial center, like the City of London. Bomb disposal officer Mike Coldrick was called out to defuse the biggest IRA bomb of all.
Around about 10:27 on the Saturday morning, tremendous blast from the truck out there in Bishopsgate, about 3,500 kilograms, high explosive, sent a blast wave that ripped all the windows out of the whole area. Where we're standing now, you would have had an absolute shower of death, literally hundreds of tons of glass raining down in a few seconds. And of course the blast went through all these offices, devastating them, putting them beyond use for a considerable period of time.
It's a massive bomb. Ring the police. Massive. I repeat, massive. You have the message.